Hey y'all, happy Thursday. Welcome to another YouTube video for We Go Podcast, aka What Else Is Going On. For those of you that don't know, I do also host a podcast. Podcast episodes drop every Tuesday and Friday. The last couple of weeks since the new year, it's been um, kind of hectic, if you will, but we will be back on track with a new episode dropping tomorrow. I am excited for you guys to hear that. So, of course, you can watch the episodes on YouTube. You can also I would like you to also go to wherever it is you listen to your podcast, you find your podcast, whether it be Spotify, iTunes, or whatever else podcast app, and download What Else Is Going On podcast, subscribe, rate it, hopefully give it 5 stars, leave a review, as you can do for YouTube too. Subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. So I just wanted to come to y'all before my recording actually and talk to y'all about some things. So let's get into it. I do want to go back and say thank you, thank you, thank you for every person that has watched, shared, commented. I hope y'all know just how much that means to me. YouTube is something that I've wanted to do since I started podcasting back in 2016. Did a couple videos, but was so focused on my other podcast back then that I never really took the time to develop, if you will, a channel. So I'm really excited to be doing this. And I just want to thank you all again. I truly appreciate y'all. So let's get into talking about some things. Let's talk about Peter. Peter Thomas. Every time I see Peter's name, I hear Nene. Peter has a message for y'all, okay? According to Radar Online, Real Housewife of Atlanta star Cynthia Bailey's ex, Peter Thomas, vows to reopen Miami restaurant bar One within 3 weeks following eviction order. So I'm going to read that again. Real Housewife of Atlanta star Cynthia Bailey's ex, Peter Thomas, vows to reopen Miami restaurant bar within 3 weeks following eviction order. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I know Cynthia is like, now why? Every time something happened, he's always referred to as Cynthia Bailey's ex-husband. Former Real Housewife of Atlanta star Cynthia Bailey's ex-husband, Peter Thomas, vowed to reopen his Miami Beach bar/restaurant despite his business losing an eviction lawsuit. Thomas, 63, told RadarOnline.com he expected to open the doors to Bar One within weeks and brushed off any public perception that he has a frayed relationship with the landlord, Bentley Bay, who sued him for non-payment of rent. I've had that venue for 5 years. I've paid over $600,000 a year for rent and then decided to put it on hold. And I've worked with that landlord since 1995, so they know me extremely well. Over 6 venues, Thomas told us. Nobody does business with somebody for over 30 years, 6 venues, and we are at war with each other. It's not that type of party. It's much deeper than that. It's a lawsuit against the landlord and the condo association. And I got caught up in the middle of that and I stepped down for a minute. So if anybody does any investigation, they will see what it really is. So he's trying to say that it's a lawsuit against the landlord, the actual landlord of the place and the condo association. As RadarOnline.com previously reported, in 2022, Bar One's landlord sued over an alleged 6-figure debt owed for unpaid rent and other outstanding fees. Last month, a Florida judge granted a default judgment against Peter Thomas's Bar One after the business failed to cough up $505,000 it had promised to pay. Any right of tenant or any other person claiming by or through tenant to occupy the commercial real property located at 520 West Avenue, Unit Commercial 1, Miami Beach, Florida, 33139, the premises is hereby terminated, the order read. Landlord is hereby awarded possession of the premises. The order also instructed the local authorities to remove all persons and personal property forthwith from the premises and put landlord in possession of it, according to court documents. So now Peter is saying that he's going to have that location back up and running within 3 weeks, honey, and that him and the landlord don't have any issues. The landlord actually has an issue with the condo association. People need to do an investigation. Now, this could be just me, but I would think if this was the case, Radar Online, who gets every other court document on this side of heaven, would be able to get those documents and back him up. I don't know. What do y'all think? Peter said bar one is opening back up within 3 weeks. I wanted to go to the bar one that was in Baltimore. I didn't even know it was closed. It's only like 20 minutes from me. And I literally rode past it like 2 weeks ago and was like, oh, I'm going to have to, no, it was about 3 weeks ago. And I was like, oh, I'm going to have to go there. In the line of work that my husband is in, he went in and had to check some things out. When it first, right before it opened up, when it was first, getting itself together to open up. But I guess I won't be going anytime soon. So let me know what y'all think about Peter. And I am interested to see if he gets it up and running within 3 weeks. Ooh, speaking of arrests and things, Brittish Williams. Basketball Wives star Brittish Williams failed to check into prison on time as she makes last-minute plea to reduce sentence. According to court records obtained by RadarOnline.com, hours before she was scheduled to turn herself in on January 3rd, the reality star asked a court to reduce her 4-year prison sentence to 2.6 years. As RadarOnline.com previously reported, a federal judge granted Williams' request to postpone her initial prison check-in date of December 11th. Williams was sentenced to 4 years in prison for alleged tax, bank, and insurance fraud. She was ordered to pay $564,000 in restitution. Following her sentencing, Williams accused the judge of hitting her with a harsh sentence due to her being a celebrity. She filed an appeal of the 4-year sentence. Williams convinced the judge to push the date back to January 3rd so she could spend Christmas. So she could spend Christmas with her daughter. On January 2nd, Williams filed a motion to reduce her sentence from 28 months to 32 months. She argued the court failed to properly calculate the sentence. 2 days later, Williams asked the court to extend her surrender date after failing to check in on January 3rd. So she initially asked the court to extend her date from December 11th so she could spend time with her daughter for Christmas. They did. They said you have to go January 3rd. On January 2nd, she files a motion for her time to be reduced to 2.6 years. Then 2 days later, which would be the 4th, which would be January 4th, a day after she was supposed to surrender, she files paperwork asking the court to extend her surrender date after not checking in the day before, January 3rd. She said she was due to surrender to Alderson FPC on January 3rd, 2024, but was unable to report as ordered. How do you tell the authorities, y'all know I'm supposed to be here, but I'm just unable to report as ordered? I'm sorry. So I need y'all to extend it. This is not like renewing your registration or a contract or something. Girl, you're supposed to be in jail. She asked that the court postpone her surrender date until a decision was made on her motion to reduce her sentence. William argued it could eliminate the need for her to be transported back and forth between the prison in West Virginia and the court in Missouri. Oh, so she was looking out for the transportation department, meaning if y'all just go ahead and make y'all decision about reducing my sentence time, I'm gonna wait out here. That way, y'all ain't got to be burning up y'all gas taking me back from Virginia to Missouri. The governed opposed the motion to reduce Williams' sentence and argued the 4 years behind bars was appropriate. Prosecutors argued that even if Williams did qualify for a potential reduction, the government would oppose relief because she failed to report to the Bureau of Prisons as directed, and she already received a more than generous disposition by way of the dismissal of counts carrying 6 years of consecutive mandatory minimums at the time of the original sentencing. Then, days later, court records stated Williams was arrested on January 12th. So she then went more than a week. She was supposed to report January 3rd and had to be was arrested January 12th. Details of the arrest are unclear at this time. The Federal Bureau of Prisons does not currently list Williams as an inmate at Alderson. On January 16th, Williams' lawyers filed a motion to continue a bond revocation hearing scheduled following the reality star's arrest. A judge has yet to rule on Williams' motion. I understand that she's doing everything she can, right, to delay going to jail, shortens her sentence, or possibly get out of going. But these shenanigans right here, and I feel like that's what they are, shows just how unsmart British is. You wait until a day before you're supposed to report to file for your time to be cut down. Then you don't report on the day you're supposed to report. Then a day after you're supposed to report, you file for an extension of you reporting until the judge has ruled on whether or not they're going to extend your time. And then you're arrested January 12th. And I think back to what her first lawyer said. Do y'all remember after her sentencing? And I'm going to paraphrase because I don't know word for word, but after she initially got sentenced, her first lawyer came out and basically was like, I would have had it so that British didn't do no time. But basically, she was hard-headed, didn't follow directions, didn't do what she was supposed to do. And remember on the show, they show her having to go under house arrest because she knew she was on probation and was supposed to get permission to go out of state or what have you. And she didn't and went anyway. And then tried to justify it like, I had to work. So she knew. It's not like, oh, I didn't understand the details of my bond. I wasn't sure. She knew she had to get permission and didn't, and still went and did what she wanted to do, because even though it was work, come on now. So she still went and did what she wanted to do. I feel like this whole, like from the time we found out, she was charged or whatever, to her having to go on house arrest because she wasn't following the orders of probation, to even now, it just shows again how unsmart she is, or that she doesn't take this seriously, that she thinks she's going to get some Hail Mary at the very end without at least fulfilling what she's supposed to fulfill on her obligations. I don't know, British. Is there a way, can they add more time? Like, I know that she's already been sentenced, but because she failed to appear and had to be arrested, could she be charged with something else, which would then add more time? I don't know, but it was very unsmart to do. Girl, go in, start doing your time while filing all of these things. Child, it's a lot. Speaking of lawsuits, Diddy demands accuser suing him over alleged sexual assault be forced to reveal her identity in court. Diddy asked the court to shut down the request by one of the women suing him to remain anonymous in court. According to court documents obtained by RadarOnline.com, the music mogul and his legal team filed their argument under seal. Diddy said the alleged victim asked to proceed anonymously as Jane Doe in the case. Diddy said that he does not agree with this. He said he recently learned the plaintiff's name after being informed of her identity by her counsel. His team put together a motion to oppose her request to remain Jane Doe, but asked the motion to be sealed. Diddy explained that his motion does not reveal the accuser's name, but it does refer to certain facts about the plaintiff that the Combs defendants have learned because her identity was disclosed by the plaintiff's counsel. Further, he said that the facts included in his motion could help third parties figure out the accuser's identity based on clues. Diddy said his accuser has a public-facing identity that could be potentially determined from the content of his motion. A judge has yet to rule. So Diddy is saying, I want the accuser's identity to be revealed, and clearly she is a public figure. I don't know. I'm telling you, this year, 2024, is, I would say, starting off with a bang, but just riding the wave of the bang that came at the end of 2023, because we got a lot going on, like a whole lot going on. So we'll see what happens with that. Y'all, let's get into some housewife things real quick. So recently, part 2 of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion came out. I will be discussing that today with my guest that I'm having. So y'all will get our in-depth thoughts and feelings and all that stuff tomorrow when the episode is released. But I had to come to y'all with this. So on part 2, Monica talked about her mom and how her mom left her with some people when she was in middle school because she wanted to be on TV, wanted to be a star. And then Monica alleged that when she had her last interview for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. She went over to her mom's house and she cried on her mom's couch and said, I messed up. I wasn't myself. And her mom said, let's say a prayer. And allegedly her mom prayed, Lord, if it's not Monica, let it be me. So this is what Monica is saying happened. Child, Monica's mama, AKA LD Millionaire on social media, has decided to come out and say, that's not the case. So her mom tweeted, everything Monica says about me is a lie or half truth. I never, in caps, applied audition, not season 4 or any other. I'm an award-winning journalist and TV producer. That was the TV job in NYC, news journalist producer. I already had the job. Reality TV is not my cup of tea. Hashtag RHOSLC. I'm going to say with this particular part right here in Monica's defense, I don't remember Monica saying her mom auditioned. She said she wanted to be on the show and said, if not Monica, let it be me. Monica's relationship with her mom clearly is very toxic, and we can see the toxicity that Linda is steeped in. And not saying that Monica isn't, but we do see it, right? However, I feel like sometimes when I'm watching this and watching Monica and her behaviors, I feel like they're two sides of the same coin a little bit. Just saying. So how she said everything Monica says about me is a lie or a half truth. In her same tweet, she said, I'm an award-winning journalist and TV producer. That was the TV job in NYC, news journalist producer. I already had the job. Monica didn't say you didn't already have the job. She said you left her for a job in TV and you got the job in TV. So I'm just saying that I feel like there's a lot of similarities when it comes to wordplay with Monica and her mom. But let's get into some more things. So All About the Truth was sent in some alleged information about Monica. So the heading reads, Monica Garcia's former friend of 10 plus years exposes Monica for committing illegal crimes plus her multiple affairs and reveals Monica willingly contacted authorities against Jen Shah. So this person is writing into All About the Real Housewives. Hi, ladies. I recently found your podcast and listened to your most recent episode discussing the SLC reunion. As somebody who's been on and off best friends with Monica since she moved to Utah from Arizona, and there's a year number, but it's crossed out. I wanted to clear up a few things. They say we would love to hear. Bree, her oldest daughter, was legally adopted by Mike, Monica's ex-husband. The other 3 girls were Mike's. Monica and I have always been fans of the RH franchise, and we watched the premiere of season 1 together. And she looked at me and said, watch me. I'm going to be on this show someday. In October 2020, Monica started working for Jen. The only payment Monica ever received from her was $2,500 so her car wouldn't be repossessed, an Apple Watch, and a fake Louis Vuitton bag. She asked me for the $2,500 and I told her no, due to her lack of repayment when I've loaned her money in the past. Monica saw Jen as a stepping stone for her career. I remember having dinner with Monica and she told me about being hired on with Jen and all the NDAs she had to sign. Monica only knew Angie through Jen when they filmed the WAP video. Look this up on YouTube. Monica's dream has always been to be on TV. She idolizes Kim K started. She idolizes Kim K. And then there is like a little part about her starting her baby blanket journey. When Monica told me she was casted, I was so happy for her. I knew this had always been a dream of hers. I thought she'd be the new favorite in the whatever plus years, because they have this marked out for some reason. I think it's 10 plus years though. In the 10 plus years we've been friends, I've seen some of the most beautiful parts of Monica, and I was hoping she'd show this side of herself. I'm not out to ruin her career or life because I think she was made for TV. I also knew her mom very well, and their relationship on TV is exactly how it is in real life. Monica and I are no longer friends, and my life is much better because of that. Also, the leaked videos of Jen Shah throwing a tantrum and screaming at her then designer Koa, and then in parentheses, who's now living rent-free in Monica's house in exchange for his designs. Absolute. And then there must have been some correspondence from all about the Real Housewives, because then it goes back to the person saying, absolutely, at the end of her relationship with Jen, I think she looked at it as she wanted to do anything she could to make a name for herself. And she willingly contacted the authorities to let them know what information she had against Jen. Monica had a plan this whole time. I know you've interviewed Tanisha. I don't think I'd want to go on. Again, not looking to ruin Monica's life, but she's leaving so much truth out. She's a liar. I'm okay with you sharing these texts, but not my name. Monica was the one who leaked those videos of Jen yelling at Koa. And guess how Monica had access to the video? When Jen got on the show, Monica suggested she install security cameras. When Vivid showed up to install, Jen wasn't home, so they set all the cameras up to Monica's phone. So even after Monica stopped working for her, she would log in and watch what was going on in her house. I don't know what Monica's thought process is with all of this. Monica and Jen are the same person. I hesitated about speaking out, but figured, what the hell? We'll never be friends again. I always thought she was just a bad friend to me, but it was mainly itty. She was an itty friend to me. Then I saw the way she treated all these ladies. Yes, she borrowed my ski suit for filming after she told me her mom bought her one and then returned it because they got into a fight. I think the last time I saw Monica was after they wrapped filming. She was sending me videos while they were in Bermuda. We had dinner for her birthday after she got home, and she told me what happened and that she flew home by herself. She told me the trip ended in a huge fight because Tanisha turned on her and told Heather all her secrets. Monica didn't tell me it was because of the Von Teese page. I knew Monica had a burner page. She actually has several. But whenever she'd bring it up, I became uninterested because that's childish stuff to me. So she never shared a ton of info with me about that page. This is interesting. This person, she made it clear on multiple occasions that she's not out to ruin Monica's life. She thinks she makes good TV. I don't know when Salt Lake City started filming and when the Bermuda trip was, but she's saying, like, we'll never be friends again. We're on and off friends. But they met up as recent as Monica getting back from filming the Bermuda trip. So what stopped them from meeting up even after that? I mean, you all met up, had dinner. You didn't say it ended badly. That wasn't that long ago. So what now makes it so that y'all will never be friends again? I don't have a hard time believing what she's saying in these text messages to All About the Real Housewives may be true. I also wonder what the motivation is now to say it. Did something go down with them after that dinner for her to now decide, you know what? I dislike Monica so much that I'm going to release this stuff. If nothing dramatic went down, I just don't see the point in releasing this. If you don't dislike her, maybe you just aren't talking anymore. Like, I'm wondering what the motive was for the release of the text messages. And I'm not even saying the person shouldn't have sent them in. I'm just wondering what the motive is. Again, she didn't say they got into a big fight. There was a big blow up, nothing. So I don't know. What do y'all think? I'm going to tell y'all, and y'all will probably hear me say it if you tune into tomorrow's podcast episode. There's something about Monica that almost makes my hairs on my arm stand up a little bit. I was watching her, and even during the season, if you notice, whenever someone brought something to her attention that she did, like a fact, like you did X, Y, and Z, she pauses and she repeats their name. So when Heather was like, you are Reality Von Teese, it was like, Heather, another beat, like she was thinking of something to come up with. And then she asked the question. With Lisa at the reunion, when Lisa, or was it Angie? One of them said something to her. I have it written down. Like I said, we're going to go into it more in depth in the episode. But they called her out on her lying. And she was like, she called them by their name. Oh, Angie. Angie called her out. And she goes, Angie, what else is it that you don't like about me? Like, what else is wrong? It was like, that's deflecting, honey. Speak to what she called you out for. And I noticed that she's done that more than once. She would be called out. She would pause, call their name, pause again and ask a question, and almost could kind of throw the person off if you're not paying attention. I know that people stan Monica and people go up for Monica. I'm never a stan of anyone. I do happen to be fans of some of the housewives. I don't stan any of them. The only woman I stan is my mom. There's something about Monica that just doesn't sit easy with me. And I can understand why the ladies wouldn't want to let their guard down around her. And when you're filming for that many months, you're supposed to be truthful and vulnerable and living your authentic life, right? And we know that these ladies, to a degree, hold some back. But I also believe that some of these ladies have formed, on all the franchises across the board, have formed real relationships, some of them, and you start to share real things. And I would be hesitant to share anything with Monica, because then when Mad Day comes, what could happen? She has that relationship with her mom. I also thought it was interesting. She said in the reunion, Andy asked her, did she think her mom was responsible for her family in the Bahamas for not meeting up with her? And she basically says, I don't know. But online, she said she found out that it wasn't her mom and she apologized. So I'm wondering what the timeline is, because it was only a few weeks ago that she apologized to her mom and said she realized it wasn't her mom. So I'm wondering if that was taped after the reunion had already filmed and she had already said, I don't know if my mom did this or not. So I don't know. I don't know where the show goes from here. I feel like maybe they will bring Monica back, because at first I thought Andy was a bit irritated with her, but then I found that he was kind of trying to not be on her side, but kind of throw her some bones. You know what I mean? So like when they talked about her mom, and Lisa was like, you told me you'll see. And Andy was like, and you saw. And then I feel like there was a couple other leading questions that he asked her for her to be able to explain some things and some behaviors and some of the things that she went through. It almost reminded me a little bit of what he was doing with Marlo, her first season, where it was like Andy had her talk about her trauma. So then it's like, if anybody tries to combat that, then you look messed up, right? So I felt like there was a teensy bit of that going on with Monica. I don't know. I don't. I believe Monica does do what her mom said in her tweet, that she mixes the truth and a lie. I believe Monica's mom does that also. Just my personal thoughts. But what do y'all think? Do y'all want to see Monica back? Do y'all think if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have had much on the show? What are y'all thoughts on part 1 and part 2 of the reunion so far? Let me know what y'all think. I will be back later. See y'all.